One, welcome all. We've got a really exciting show for you. It's the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. And right now it's time for, say it with me, lift off.
7, 6.
We are going to take
5,
our English
4,
to new
3,
heights.
2, 1.
Come with me.
0. Ignition.
Now hold on tight, folks.
Lift off.
Agarra fuerte.
Lift off.
Here we go.
30 minutes after the hour.
Get ready. Hold on to your hat. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hat. Get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no. It's show with no name time on Vaughn Radio. It's a show with no name.
Vaughn Radio. Let's go, amigos. Come on.
Let's go.
All right. Come on. Yeah. Let's rock and roll, amigos. Get ready to laugh, to learn, to share, to play. This is the show with no name on Vaughn Radio, amigos. And it's an honor and a pleasure to have you here with us. I know that you guys are warmed up. Fijaos donde va la D ahí. Va con el up. Escucha. Warmed up. I know you're Dilo conmigo, please. Let's get started. Vamos a arrancar ya. And I'm stuffed up. Mira, ahí te doy otra. Stuffed up. Congestionado. Constipado. Fíjate, la D, porque stuffed up. Stuffed up. So it's like a más con la UP que con la parte primera. So, bear with me today. Ya estamos con unas expresiones. Bear with me. Paciencia conmigo. I'm a bit stuffed up. You guys are a bit warmed up. Y mira, ya estamos con los phrasal verbs, amigos. Did you miss me last week? Those of you who were paying attention, well, you know, I wasn't doing live shows last week. And Murphy's Law, the last day of my staycation. ¿Conoces esta palabra? Staycation. Unas vacaciones donde te quedas en tu casita. Really, you're just trying to do chores, ¿no? Las cosas que tienes pendiente. Your long list of things. So the last day of my staycation, of course, I get sick. So bear with me. The other option was to cancel the show, and you can bet your bottom dollar I'm not doing that. Come hell or high water. Pase lo que pase. Wow. Muchas expresiones ya. Come hell or high water. All right, folks, let me give you this week's question of the week.
Question of the week.
That's right, folks. Question of the week. This is where you get a chance to express yourself in English in front of me, your teacher, where I can help you, and also in front of your other, your fellow students. And this is important on so many levels. A, how do you want to be a better English speaker? How do you do that? You got to speak more often. You want to be a better tennis player. How do you do that? Play tennis more often, right? I mean, it's really, there's no secret. There's no shortcut. And so this is an opportunity for you guys to speak every week and to express yourself about a certain topic. So I urge you all to participate in this week's question. A nice round of applause for everybody who has participated, whether you've participated once or whether you participate every single week, like some of our students. Keep up the great work. This week's question of the week is, what was your favorite subject in school? Now, I don't want one-word answers here. You can't just say math, because there you're not expressing yourself. You're just answering a question. So the important part, as always, is why? Why, right? Why was this your favorite subject? So we're going to take a look at that this coming Friday. what was your favorite subject in school and why? And once you know your answer, you can send me around a minute. Don't go too under or too over. A minute is fine. And tell us, introduce yourself. Always do it, even though sometimes I'll say, this is Maria Jose. But it's always nicer to hear you say, hey, guys, it's Tal, right? And this way you're practicing also introducing yourself. So introduce yourself. Give us your answer. And, of course, if you'd like to send a special shout out or something like that, we'd love to hear from you. So how do you participate? Real simple. Take your phone, record a 1-minute message telling us your favorite subject in school. Send it to me before Thursday evening this week. And you can send it to my email address, which is aalonso@grupovon.com. All right, folks, it's time for today's pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Sing it. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz.
¿Quieres estar al tanto de todas nuestras promociones en la Vaughan Esfera? Well, now you can be in the loop. Puedes estar al tanto. Puedes enterarte de ofertas, novedades y eventos. Y mucho más. Puedes encontrar todo eso en grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. Eso es, en grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. Ahí tendrás toda la información de última hora. Guárdalo como favorito. grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. And stay in the loop.
That's right, folks. That's where you can find out. There's a new link. If you haven't checked it out yet, check it out. It's a new link, and it's exclusively for our radio listeners. It's kind of like a home base where you guys can find out all the information you need to find out about what's going on, special deals that we've got coming up, cosas destacadas, as we would say, right? Things that we want to highlight. So you can go to grupovon.com/ que slash, como el guitarrista de Guns N' Roses, it's barra as well. So grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados, and you can get more information on all our upcoming courses. Now, today, we're going to listen to something in our pop quiz from a book called Listen Up. Listen up is presta atención, right? Listen up. It's a really, really good phrasal verb. Listen up, folks. Que no es escucha, pero es realmente presta atención. And this is a book that has over 2 hours of audio, over 80 paragraphs of real English. Let's give it a listen. And then, as always, I'm going to have a little challenge for you afterwards. This is from Listen Up.
Upgraded to first class for free. And now the vocabulary. To board.
Embarcar, subir a,
To be upgraded.
subir de categoría,
Cabin steward or stewardess.
auxiliar de vuelo, azafata,
Airline.
aerolínea,
Destination.
destino,
Captain.
capitán,
Departure lounge.
zona de preembarque,
First class.
clase preferente,
Economy class.
clase turista,
Passenger.
pasajero.
Have you ever traveled in first class on a plane? My friend George was upgraded on his last flight for free because he's a regular flyer. The stewardess told him out of the blue, and he was very surprised. He had never traveled in first class before. Before boarding in the departure lounge, he had access to the first class lounge, a special area only for first class passengers. When he arrived at his destination, he could get off first. I'm so jealous. I've never got off first before. I'm always last. Will I ever be able to travel in first class? George loves that airline now.
Commuting to work. What a dilemma. And now the vocabulary.
To commute.
Viajar diariamente al trabajo.
To change.
Cambiar.
To travel. Or go by.
Viajar. Ir en.
To move house.
Mudarse.
To cycle.
Montar. Ir en bici.
Carpool.
Compartir el coche.
After moving house, I now have to commute to work. The only thing is, I have a dilemma. I can't decide how to commute. I should travel by train, but I have to change twice and it's quite expensive. I would cycle, but it's too cold in winter. I could drive, but I would have to buy and maintain a car, and that's just extra hassle. Going by train, I could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'd travel and would also be able to do some work on the train at the same time. My friend is in a carpool and loves it. This would be a great idea, but it seems unreliable. I should live closer. It would be so much simpler.
I've lost my ticket on the train. And now the vocabulary.
To lose.
Perder.
Ticket.
Billete.
Fine.
Multa.
To bribe.
Sobornar.
A bribe.
Un soborno.
To realize.
Darse cuenta.
Ticket inspector.
Revisor.
Journey.
Viaje.
To get off.
Bajarse.
I've just realized I've lost my train ticket. It's not in my bag anymore. I'm still on the train, and the ticket inspector hasn't checked mine yet. I've already set off on my journey, so if he finds me without one, even though I've lost it, I will still have to pay a fine. I could try to bribe him, but I don't think ticket inspectors accept bribes, and it would still be cheaper to buy a ticket. I will have to get off at the next train station and buy a new one. I can't believe it. I've really got off on the wrong foot today.
Do you mean business with your English? ¿Vas en serio? Well, if you don't have Kyle Miller's book, Business English, then you are missing out. Kyle's not only an English teacher, but he holds an MBA. And he will guide you through the ins and outs of business and the English language, all while having fun. Business English by Kyle Miller is the most complete English resource available, and it comes with audio and video. Pick up a copy of Kyle Miller's Business English. That is, if you mean business. Available at vontienda.com. All right, amigos. Yeah, I got a lot of great, wonderful materials over at vontienda.com. You can also pick up our materials at Amazon, at Casa del Libro. As we say in English, wherever fine books are sold. And as you could hear in that Listen Up audio, there was tons of useful vocabulary. There were a few different accents in there. I heard an Irish accent. I also heard a Southern accent. Did you get that Southern accent? Because, well, Lucia, she's from Texas, just like Richard Vaughn. And now, she doesn't talk like that. She's got more of a standard accent when she speaks English because she grew up. Well, she didn't really grow up in Texas. See, one thing's where you're born, and one thing's where you're bred. And I don't mean bread like pan. I mean bread, criado, because it comes from the word breed, B-R-E-D. So born and bred is another way of saying born and raised, nacido y criado. Is that how you would say it? You know what I mean. Well, some really good vocabulary, especially for you frequent flyers. That's a good one to know. A frequent flyer is somebody who travels often, and obviously they fly often by plane. So a frequent flyer. We also looked at some vocabulary there, and there was a word that's changed many times. Like when I was younger, the person on the plane was the steward and the stewardess. But we don't say that these days, right? I don't even think in Spanish you say tripulación. You can say the crew, the cabin crew is a way to say it. The flight attendants. What else? Frequent flyers. We looked at also, Lucia said the word to bribe, sobornar. There's a phrasal verb that is to bribe, and that means to pay somebody off. Si no lo conocías, apúntalo. So they're trying to bribe me. They're trying to pay me off. All right, folks? All right, now let's see what challenge I've got for you then. The first one is something I always teach my students because I think it's really important. And I want you to give me all three of them together, please. And again, please bear with me. As you can hear, I've got some snot. Tengo moco, as I said. So bear with me a little bit today. I'm drinking tea and water and just trying to take care of myself here. But this is really important, this one, especially because you don't know how many times I've used this word and my wish came true. Se me cumplió el deseo. And this is subir de categoría. ¿Cómo pedirías a alguien subir de categoría? Now, many times you have to pay for it and you can do it, but sometimes if you just ask nicely, they'll do it. If they can. You don't know how many times at a hotel, more in my case, more often than on flights with hotels, I'm like, hey, any chance? ¿Hay alguna posibilidad? Is there any chance we could get an or we can subir de categoría? That's the first word we're looking for. Really good word to know in case you didn't know it. The next one is desplazarse. So this is to move to and from work or school. You know, when I went to university, when I went to school, some people lived on campus and others people were los que se desplazan cada día para llegar ahí. And they parked in the parking lot or they would take the train or a bus. But it's not really traveling. This is this is you going to work and back. This is you bringing the kids to school. It's aquí pone viajar diariamente al trabajo, pero también es a la universidad, se puede aplicar también. Okay? And the last one, the third one, is a really good word if you haven't heard it. And the word it's something difficult. The word in Spanish, it says, is engorro, dificultad. In fact, the example they use here is getting through airport security is always a So the word is molestia, problema, confusión. Okay? El verbo sería molestar o fastidiar. And then we use this just like I said before, wherever fine books are sold. Well, we also say un producto o un programa que es sencillo, fácil, sin complicaciones. So, esto sería esta palabra con la palabra free, libre de eso. Pero luego lo vemos. I want to see if you guys know that. The first one is subir de categoría. ¿Cómo lo pedirías? Úsalo en el ejemplo que lo usarías tú. The second one, desplazarte al trabajo. How would you say it? Okay, I'll give you my examples too. And the third one is something that's not comfortable, that's not easy. Like the perfect example was here on Word Reference, airport security. It's a pain in the ass. I don't care how you slice it or dice it. It's a pain in the ass. It's one of those things that makes traveling a little less fun. All right. Speaking of fun, I've got a lot of students here ready to rock. What's up, show with no namers? Did you miss me? Did you miss me? 'Cause I missed you. 'Cause I missed you. Let's see who's in the house. Born to Iron Man. He says, and let me do this. I got to get my voice here. Good morning, friends. I see that O extended there. Awesome to watch you live again. Let's kick off the week. You've got the right attitude, Born to Iron Man. You've got a PMA, a positive mental attitude. A PMA, a little bit different than PMS, premenstrual syndrome, right? Nobody wants PMS, and I think PMA is something that everybody could use. Nos vendría bien a todos, no? And Born to Iron Man, you are a shining example of a star student. Welcome back. Welcome back. There's Chris Valrol. Speaking of stars, another example to follow. Chris says, morning. In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground is where I spent most of my days. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all shooting some b-ball outside of the school. When a couple of guys who were up to no good started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fight and my mom got scared. She said, you're moving with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air. I whistled for a cab, and when it came near, the license plate said fresh and it was dice in the mirror. If anything, I could say that this cab was rare, but I thought, nah, forget it. Your home's to Bel Air. I pulled up to a house about 7 or 8, and I yelled to the cabbie, yo, smell you later. Looked in my kingdom, I was finally there. Sit on my throne as the Prince of Bel Air. It's tough with this beat. Difícil con este ritmo, que es diferente. But Chris, I couldn't help it. No lo pude evitar. All right. Good morning. Yeah, that's great. Finding it in the music. In West Philadelphia, born and raised. So born and raised. Another way to say it, as I said, born and bred. Born and bred, que es un homófono para pan. Let's see another super student in the house. There's Anix, who always participates in our question of the week section. And Anix has been a show with no namer. I mean, she's from the old school. She's an OG, as we say. You know that? OG, an original gangster. Yeah, she's not from the new school. She's in the old school. She's an OG. She probably remembers when I was like a young kid, and now look at me. I'm sick. Well, that happens to everybody, regardless of your age, independientemente, regardless of your age. So Anik says, morning, everyone. Of course we missed you. Get well soon. Take a lot of TLC. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much to all of you. Again, when, the days that I'm a little bit stuffed up, normally in a normal job, you're like, well, I'll just, I'll go in and but if you have to talk and you've got, it makes it a little bit harder. But I only like to cancel the show if it's absolutely necessary, So, because, I love doing it too. And you know what I would be doing right now if I canceled the show? I'd be sitting there feeling sorry for myself. Like, oh, poor me. So here I am with you guys, and you're distracting me. I'm distracting you. It's a win-win. Thank you. Thank you for wishing me well. I feel better already, Anix. Let's see. Chris. Oh, and by the way, TLC, tender loving care. Un poco de cariño, toque de amor. Chris says, oh my God, you know the entire song. Well, kind of. I flubbed. You know this word? To flub. Equivocarse. I flubbed on 2 or 3 words, but also because it was hard keeping up with the beat. But yeah, I know. I mean, I haven't heard it in a while, but it's one of those that you never forget, right? I'm sure you guys all know it in Spanish. Classic. The Fresh Prince of Bel Air. And fresh, en este caso, tiene 2 significados. The Fresh Prince se llamaba en inglés. Fresh, fresco, porque era un tío fresco, contestaba, ¿no? Era salao, as you say. But also fresh is chulo. Man, you look fresh. Muy chulo. So it was the perfect name for the show. And Chris says, I hope you get well soon. Well, I'm already feeling better. Thanks to you, Show with No Namers. Right now, we're going to a quick commercial break. We still have to check out our pop quiz. Hopefully, somebody will get all 3 of these. Remember, we're looking at subir de categoría, we're looking at desplazarse, and we're looking at cosas incómodas, cosas pesadas. All right, we'll take a look at that. We've got Say What Soundbite, Spelling Bee. Man, we've got a lot of stuff to cover, so stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 2 of today's show with No Name on Vaughn Radio. Thanks so much for joining us and playing with us, learning, laughing. We've got a lot to do in today's show, amigos. And if you're taking notes, you'll realize we've looked at a lot of vocabulary already. You know, just in the first part right there. You know, phrasal verbs. And not just, we didn't just look at phrasal verbs, we looked at how to pronounce them. It's not I warmed up, it's I warmed up. Right? I'm stuffed up. Esa es más como una T. Porque stuffed es también relleno, pero en este caso es de mocos, right? I'm stuffed up. So esa T, otra vez, ¿qué pasa? Si es una D, una T se une. But I want you to take note, because those are those little nuances, those little things that make the difference, that make you sound great when you speak English. Trust me. I had a student I'll never forget at Vodafone. I can say it. And she said, Alberto, I walked to work today. And then I talked to my boss, and I was like, esa T es precioso. Walked. Y la diferencia es solo, ¿no? Meter ese T, que es el pasado, en muchos casos. All right, well, folks, we've got so much to do, so we'll kick off with the Say What soundbite. Yeah. Say what? Say What soundbite time, amigos. You're going to hear a famous person speaking right now. And you got to tell me what you heard in your best English. You're going to hear it 4 times, so you get 4 chances to jot it all down. Is everybody ready? All right, here it is. We've got our Say What soundbite. I'll warn you. I'll forewarn you. Prevenirte un poco. This is going to be tough today. But hey, you should still try, even if it's, remember, if you get it wrong, or if you were, you made a mistake, that's what we're supposed to be doing. My student, I made a lot of mistakes today. I'm like, well, if you didn't make mistakes, you wouldn't have to be here with me, would you? Right? So that's the point. And so if we look at mistakes as blessings, bendiciones, By the way, if you haven't listened to the FYI episodes on the Bible, you've got both of them. I made both of them free for everybody this week. So it's the Bible with my mom with a little bit of TLC, as you know, and you can get both of those episodes wherever you get your Vaughn podcasts. All right, here we go with our Say What soundbite for the first time.
You're always yapping. What do you mean I don't treat you like a woman? I treat you like a woman. I let you sew, I let you cook, I let you wash the windows, I let you clean up. Boys don't do that, Alex.
All right. Definitely a laugh track there. Do you know what that is? A laugh track is, bueno, esas risas enlatadas. We say canned laughter as well. All right, let me give it to you a second time. As I said, it's not going to be easy, but we'll demystify it. By the end of the show, we'll know exactly what's going on, and we'll take a look at all those little nuances, as we said. Here we go, folks. The Say What soundbite for the second time.
You're always yapping. What do you mean I don't treat you like a woman? I treat you like a woman. I let you sew, I let you cook, I let you wash the windows, I let you clean up. Boys don't do that, Alex.
¿Conoces Weekend Town? La nueva iniciativa de Vaughan.
Pues no.
Es un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés. Y es nuevísimo.
A ver, cuéntame más.
Tendrás una inmersión lingüística total durante 2 días. Un total de 24 horas hablando con angloparlantes de todo el mundo.
¡Wow! ¡Qué interesante!
Ganarás confianza y soltura a la hora de comunicarte en inglés. Mejorarás tu comprensión auditiva y tus habilidades conversacionales en una situación de comunicación real en inglés. Ven a Weekend Town y te sorprenderás con todo lo que puede avanzar tu inglés en un fin de semana. Weekend Town de Vaughan. Un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés. Y si aprovechas, hay una oferta este sábado que viene en NH Las Tablas por solo 850 euros. Vive la experiencia. Weekend Town de Vaughan.
You can get more information about Weekend Town, which is one of our new initiatives, over at grupovon.com/cursos destacados. All right, let's see who's in the house. We still have to take a look at our pop quiz, so we'll start off with that while you guys are thinking about what you heard. As you guys know, we multitask here on this show, because if not, we got to cut sections because we run out of time. That's the way the ball bounces. Así bota la pelota. Let's see. We've got Chris Valrol participating in our pop quiz. And she says, I got an upgrade in my job. Well, Chris, that's the word. But the context is a little bit off. But great. That's why we're here. For me to, say, okay, we use this here and we use that there. So an upgrade, we wouldn't say una promoción. We would say the same word. I got promoted. I got a promotion. So we would, piénsalo en español. Me dieron una promoción, me promoví. I don't know how you promote it. So an upgrade would be more in a hotel or maybe on a flight. For example, you're like, are there any first class seats available? Or for a lot of times the Iberia or whoever will send you an email. For 50 euros, you can upgrade to business class. Nunca es 50. But I always ask, my number one phrase is, can I get an upgrade? Now, I don't say free or pay. I don't mention if it's free or anything. I just say, puedo obtener una subida de categoría? And 9 times out of 10, they say yeah, without charging me. This is more in hotels, as I said. I'm telling you guys. Pero no puedes pronunciarlo hotel. It's hotels. Al menos tienes que pronunciarlo bien, right? But it's a really good thing. You can ask. You can't hurt. It can't hurt. Not you can't hurt. It can't hurt. No pierdes nada, right? So an upgrade would be more subir de una categoría que algo que has pagado, like a flight. Think of travel in this way. And a promotion in your job. But excellent, Chris, that's the word, an upgrade. Also, it's a verb. Can you upgrade my flight? Okay. Let's see. She says, my commute used to be stressful. Perfect. Mi desplazamiento, right? My commute used to be stressful. Oh, my wife, poor thing. She commutes a lot, a lot of hours. Let's put it this way. She spends a lot of hours in her car every week. And some people might like that, but she doesn't. Especially, because I always say it, even if you love to drive, do you really love to drive on the M40, the M40 highway during, rush hour or commuter hour? Really? Is that fun? If you like to drive up in the mountains by the, beautiful, spacious, roads with scenery everywhere, not sitting in the M30 or the M40 in Madrid in a traffic jam. Another way to say rush hour, para que los jugando con esta palabra, is commuter hour. So you got rush hour, you've got commuter hours, la hora punta. All right? And it's very different in the United States. Your commuter hour is different than ours. Primero son 2 horas, right? It's not 1 hour. I think yours is from 8 to 10. Is that correct? I guess it depends on where you live, depends on your job, but I'm saying in general. From 8 to 10 is when there's the most action here. And then at 10, it drops off. Is that correct? In the States, it's 7 to 9. Because most people start at 9 a.m. there. So it means you've got, depending on where you live, usually 7 people start leaving their house 6:30, 7 a.m. to get to work at 9 or a little bit before. So if our timetable there is 9 to 5, then 5 to 7 is the rush hour or commute. I remember in New York, a lot of people, what they would do, they would hang out, and that's where the happy hour idea came from. People said, all right, well, I'll tell you what, for the next 2 hours, drinks are half price. So what people do, people who commute every day, they're like, you know what? I don't want to be squished in there. I'll just hang out with some of my colleagues, have a couple beers, and then in a couple hours, when everything's more chilled out, I'll get on the train. So very common over there in New York, commuter hour, rush hour. And she says, being under the weather is a hassle. Excellent job, Chris. The word is hassle. Like David Hasselhoff. Hey, don't hassle me. I'm not David Hasselhoff. No me fastidies. But also a lot of times, as I said, there was that marketing use. Now you can use our program hassle-free, sin complicaciones, muy sencillo de usar, right? It's hassle-free. All right, let's see. Chris, wonderful job, by the way. Excellent. All right, let's see. Born to Iron Man. He says, would you ask for a promotion? I wouldn't. All right, the only thing is the promotion, it's funny, Chris and Born to Iron Man flipped them. But yes, promotion is correct in this way as in your job. We already explained this, but just so you guys know. And then he says, I'm in 7th heaven. I'm in 7th heaven. Solo te falta la TH, pero buenísima expresión. Estoy en la gloria. I'm in 7th heaven. If you didn't know that, then you haven't listened to the Bible episodes of FYI, where we look at all these expressions of biblical proportions. So he says, I'm in 7th heaven indeed. I used to commute, but not anymore. Well, guys, I love that you guys both used to commute. So your life has gotten a little bit easier. And he goes, I walk to work. All right, well, great job. And the last one. Waiting for something or somebody bothers anyone. Molesta a cualquiera. It's really a nuisance. Oh, wow, great. Yeah, I was looking at the word hassle, la que vimos, pero a nuisance, molestia, right? Usually, this guy's a nuisance. Es un pesado. He's annoying, right? Great vocabulary, guys. Wonderful job. So yeah, the first one, can I get an upgrade? Can I upgrade the room? Is there an upgrade available? Apréndate esta. Can I? Oh, yeah. Y luego te pueden decir, yeah, for $200, I can put you in a suite. Or they say, if you smile, I don't know. Again, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes they're like, they act like they don't understand you. Like, oh yeah, no, we don't do that kind of stuff. But 9 times out of 10, you can get an upgrade. The next one, of course, if there are hotel rooms available, if there are seats available, and you can see it, if you're going in peak season or off. If you're going to a city on any given Monday, it's not going to be the same as going on a weekend, right? Where everything's more packed, as we say. So commute was the second word, upgrade, commute, and the third was hassle. Just think of David Hasselhoff. All right, let's see. Anix. She says, short but not sweet. Cortito, pero no era dulce esto. She says, wow, there are 2 male voices, maybe Americans. She's referring to the Say What soundbite. She goes, they're arguing, and one of them said something about treating someone like a woman without being it. All right, Anix, good ear. Really good ear there. All right, yeah. Anybody else on the Say What soundbite before we move on? Because then we've got to go to our spelling bee. We've got Chris Valrol. She says, if I had to commute right now, I'd listen to Vaughn Radio, so I wouldn't feel like I'm wasting all that time in the car. Well, thankfully, these days, yeah, you can, you can't send emails. You shouldn't. Sitting in traffic, but you can listen to a podcast. You can listen to the news. You can learn a language like you guys are doing. So you're right. You can make that time. You can make the most of that time instead of just being passively sitting there in your car, right? That's the idea behind Kyle Miller's show, Drive Time. It's a show that is designed for your commute home, to challenge you. If you haven't listened to Kyle's show, give it a listen. It's called Drive Time. I know many of you are huge Kyle Miller fans, but just in case, give it a listen. He's also the author of Business English. If you work in the business world, you need this material. I'm telling you. All right, well, folks, let's go on over to today's Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
All right, folks, it's time for today's Spelling Bee. I don't think it's going to be too difficult today because sometimes we've got Tibetan words. We're looking at like the Himalayas or something, and you're like, whoa, esto es una palabra que nada. Today, I think they're all pretty straightforward, sin mucho rodeo aquí. So I think it'll be easy. Now, round 1 is hellish. Born to Iron Man just mentioned being in 7th heaven. Well, hellish is de infierno, de diablos, horrible. But I know somebody's going to get it. Maybe even Born to Iron Man. All right, well, round 1 is brutal. It's relentless. And what we're going to do for the sake of simplicity, capitalize the first letter of every word. And if you capitalize the first letter of every word, then we won't have to say capital this, lowercase this. So first letter of every word capitalized, and here we go. The first one is FIVE dash POINTED. The second one is TERRAZZO. The third one is BRASS. The fourth one is HOLLYWOOD space BOULEVARD. The fifth one is VINE space STREET. And the last one is WALK space OF space FAME. And here's a little clue.
Quiet on the set. We're rolling. We've all been here thousands of times. At least we feel like we have, thanks to the stars and the silver screen they grace. Tinseltown really is a terrific town. Lights, camera, action. Join me as we get lost in the glitz, glamour, and galas of Hollywood on today's FYI. Welcome to For Your Info. English.
You got it. I can't believe that. That's one of the first FYIs, folks. I think that was episode maybe 3 or something. First one was wine. Then we did, I forget the second one was maybe running. And the third one was Hollywood, something like that. Well, either way, you've got access to hundreds of episodes of FYI, hundreds of topics, whether you want to learn about the Bible with my mom, or you want to learn about dictators or donuts, whatever you're into. And you'd be surprised. Some of the most interesting topics are not the ones you'd think would be. Because obviously, it's easy to make the Rolling Stones interesting. They lead interesting lives, right? And some things, I've been pleasantly surprised. Like, wow, this topic actually, I think one of the episodes that surprised me the most was Kellogg's. I thought I was doing an episode, because I have to prepare it and everything, and I thought I was going to produce an episode on breakfast cereal. No. It was an episode on two brothers, a feud, una contienda, I think you say, a big fight, a feud, masturbation, torture. Yeah. Give it a listen. What? I know, I just got your attention, didn't I? Well, it got my attention as well. All right, so I played the Hollywood episode, so obviously this has something to do with Hollywood. Let's see. The first person to participate is Born to Iron Man. And Born to Iron Man, the first one is correct. The second one is also correct. The third one is correct. The fourth one's correct. The fifth one as well. And the sixth one is also correct. Wow. Excellent job, Born to Iron Man. I literally flew through those words. Excellent job. Chris Valrol got it as well. And Lupe. Wow. The Holy Trinity. Great job. Wow. I must say I am impressed. All right. Well, here's round 2, folks. Now, this is, if you're an intermediate level of English, you should be able to write these words down, because I'm going to be the guy who wants you to understand him. Unfortunately, most people are not in that category. Most people are like, you didn't understand me. Your problem, not mine. Oh, I'll repeat myself, but don't make me do it too many times either. You know? All right, here we go, amigos. The first word is, it's a hyphenated word. A hyphen or a dash is un guion. So it's FIVE dash or hyphen POINTED. The second one is TERRAZZO. That's probably the hardest word. The third one is BRASS. The fourth one is HOLLYWOOD space BOULEVARD. The fifth one is VINE space STREET. And the last one is WALK space OF space FAME. All right, my amigos, those are your words. That is round 2. And yes, all of these words had to do with Hollywood because today, in the year 1960, now this is pretty recent. In 1960 today, they opened the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The Hollywood Walk of Fame, what I want to look at right there is the word walk. Vamos a decir estas palabras juntos. La L no la quiero oír, ¿ok? Walk, talk, half. Son palabras con L's mudas, ¿ok? Walk, talk, half. No walk, talk, or half. These are very common pronunciation mistakes. Amigos, we're going to a quick commercial break. We've got a lot of stuff to cover in the second half of the show. We've got our homophones, we've got movies, we've got music, double trouble. What else? We'll also take a look at the words in our spelling bee. We need to listen to our Say What soundbite another 2 times. It's really tough today. We've got a lot to cover, amigos. If I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 3 of today's show with no name on Vaughn Radio. After today's show, you've got Ximena Holiday and Test Your English. What a wonderful person. And also mark your calendars before I forget. You've got Ximena Holiday and Nacho hosting our upcoming Vaughn Radio Trivia Night. Mark your calendars. It is March 6th. March 6th. It's at Roll Madrid. And just pay attention to the time. It's earlier than usual. Why? Because we're grandpas. You can't start something at 8 o'clock on a weeknight. 8:30? We're in bed by 10. So we're trying something different. Well, Vaughn and Roll, the place where it takes place, they're trying a new timetable this month. So it's free. Just show up there at 7:30 for an amazing trivia night hosted by Ximena Holiday and Nacho. It's going to be legendary. We're all going to be there. Rob, Andy. I hope I can make it. You know what the problem is? Well, not the problem. It's just scheduling conflicts. I have a class usually on Wednesday evenings. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But my plan is to definitely go to the Vaughn Radio Trivia Night this March 6th, 2024. And it's at Roll Madrid. Folks, it's time for Homophones on the Show with No.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Show with no name. Show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It is Homophones only on the show with no name. And I'm going to give you 2 words right now. And I want to know, A, if you're familiar with the words, and B, if you know if they sound exactly the same or not. The first word is batido, martillado. It also means to be defeated, derrotado o vencido. It's also, no, porque ya ahí sería el verbo. So it's batido, martillado, si estamos hablando de metal, ¿ok? Que se hace a golpes. Y de eso viene derrotado, vencido, right? I don't know if you know the word. If not, you will by the end of this section. And the second word is mordido. Mordido. So the interesting thing is they both have something in common right off the bat. They're participles. What does that mean? La tercera columna. O sea, el taken, el gone, el eaten, no? So the first one is vencido, pegado, golpeado, right? Is the general idea there. And the second one is mordido. And we'll see if you guys know those 2 words and if they sound exactly the same or not. Also, it's time for your Say What soundbite for the 3rd time. Please write down what you hear.
You're always yapping. What do you mean I don't treat you like a woman? I treat you like a woman. I let you sew, I let you cook, I let you wash the windows, I let you clean up. Boys don't do that, Alice.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace. Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así da gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damián, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
vaughantienda.com.
It's the shit. That's right, folks. Available at vaughantienda.com. All right, let's see. We've got only one person. All the pressure is on one man. And it's Born to Iron Man. Nobody wants to... Oh, interesting. I thought homophones was one of the easiest sections. But if nobody... I mean, because it's 50-50, right? Well, no, I guess you can get the words wrong. But I'm surprised that only one person is going to take a stab at this. All right, well, let's see how he did. The first word is correct, Born to Iron Man, so wonderful job there. And the second word is also correct. Now, part 1. Awesome. Part 1 is awesome. And let's see part 2. He says that the two words sound the same. Okay. Interesting. Does anybody care to agree or to differ? This is a really polite way of saying no estoy de acuerdo. I beg to differ. Apúntate esa. I beg to differ. All right. Well, you know what we're going to do here? We're going to say the words, and then you tell me if the words sound the same or not. Daniela says, I guess you can't see my message. Well, it's weird because I can see this one, but I can't see. Oh, that's weird. Are we being censored again? Really? You're not allowed to use these words? Really? Oh, wow. That's sounds sounds pretty crazy. All right. The first word is beaten. Beaten. If you're British, you say the T, beaten. Americans say beaten, beaten, beaten. He was beaten by the Russian in Rocky IV, for example, right? He was beaten, literalmente pegado. O sea, piensa para un boxeador, siempre es así, right? He was beaten. And it comes from the verb to beat. Beat, beat, beaten. O sea, es fácil. La segunda y la primera columna y segunda es igual. Beaten, okay? Now, the second word is bitten. Okay, los voy a decir. Voy a decir, fue golpeado, pero no mordido. He was beaten, but he wasn't bitten. He was beaten, but he wasn't bitten. They are not homophones. But you know what? Now we know it. All right, so what do we do in this case? Let's take a look at the word. So we already said it's beat, beaten. The second one is bite, bit, bitten. Entonces, esa I de la segunda y la tercera, en el segundo ejemplo, no es I, es E. ¿Qué dices? ¿Dónde vas? So, bitten, bit, ¿no? Es una suavecita ahí, rapidita. So he was beaten, but he wasn't bitten. And I guess that was a tough one there. And if not, we just take a look at the roots there. So beaten. Well, eaten, right? It rhymes with eaten, comido. This food hasn't been eaten, right? Acuérdate, la T se puede decir, pero nosotros, we do the glottal stop in American English. Eaten, beaten, right? And bitten rhymes with kitten. Bitten, kitten, no? Kitten is un gatito. So excellent job. Now, interesting because a lot of people participated, but I could only see Born to Iron Man's. Well, I trust you. Me fío. All right, folks. Oh, I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. I just Hey, at least I didn't sneeze in your ear. Estornudar en tu oído. I was able to reach the volume really quickly. But all right, well, we've got to move on. Interesting how you guys have been censored. But, well, just so you know, whether you got it or you didn't get it, beaten versus bitten. Beat, bit. Beat, bit. Beat, bit. All right? Chris says, bless you. Thank you. Thanks. I'm trying not to get snot, moco, on the microphone over here, but I don't know. I'll clean it up later, folks. Cosas del directo, as you say in Spanish. All right, let's take a look at our spelling bee, and then we'll move on to name that movie. Our spelling bee, as I said, is the Hollywood Walk of Fame, which was founded in 1960. And if you've ever been to Hollywood, this is a stretch. A stretch es un tramo. También es estirarse. That would be a good double trouble. But it's a stretch of Hollywood Boulevard and 3 blocks of Vine Street. De hecho, the intersection Hollywood and Vine is a very famous intersection. And it's 15 blocks in Hollywood. You say blocks is manzanas. You call them apples. 15 blocks of Hollywood Boulevard and 3 blocks of Vine Street in Hollywood. It's kind of like the heart of Hollywood, right? And you've all seen it. I mean, even if you haven't been there, we all know the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's where you see the stars on Hollywood Boulevard and Vine. And they're tributes to actors, directors, producers, musicians. Vamos a pronunciar esta porque, excuse me, hold on. Okay. Let's pronounce this one together because this is a difficult one. Musicians. Siempre digo musician. No, Muse, como el grupo Muse, musician. He's a musician. She's a musician. So directors, producers, musicians, theatrical groups, fictional characters, and others. Supposedly, it gets an estimated 10 million visitors a year who walk on those stars. And it all started today in the year 1960. The first word in our spelling bee was 5-pointed. It's a 5-pointed star. The second word is terrazzo. What is terrazzo? Well, terrazzo is a composite material, okay, que está compuesto de varias cosas, and it's used for floor and wall treatments. It's a mix of mármol, quartz, you say, quartz, granito, you say? Creo que son parecidos, glass, cristal, and some other suitable material. Pone suitable material. Qué miedo. So it's cool. I'm sure if you look at this kind of floor You'll be like, claro, este estilo. So that's terrazzo. The next word is brass. And what is brass? Well, we were talking about beaten before. Well, brass is a kind of metal. It looks like it's gold. The color is gold, but it's not gold. And brass is what many instruments are made out of, right? But not just instruments. Zippers, right? Cremalleras, jewelry, electrical plugs. I mean, a lot of different things. Bearings, las cosas que van en las ruedas. ¿Cómo se dice bearings en español? Let me look this one up. Bearings, no. Bearings, dirección, orientación también. A bearing is el cojinete. Yeah, it's a machine part. A bearing. That's a very, yeah. But also, we have an expression, I'm going to get my bearings. Voy a orientarme. Apúntate esa es muy bueno. You know, I'm new here. I haven't gotten my bearings. To get your bearings is orientarse. So we can always learn from that. So brass is that next word. You say latón or something like this. The fourth one is Hollywood Boulevard. The fifth one's Vine Street. It's where they intersect. And the last one is the Walk of Fame. And there you go. So excellent job, amigos. It's time for Name That Movie. Name That Movie. That's right, amigos. It's Name That Movie only on the show with no name. And what if I told you guys that I gave you a clue already? Que ya os he dado una pista. Yeah. Well, kind of. I already mentioned this character's name. Yeah, because that's how I do it. So, as we always say, nuestro double trouble favorito, it pays to pay attention. Vale la pena prestar atención. All right, here we go. This is going to be easy. All right. Where are we over here? Okay. A small-time Philadelphia boxer gets a supremely rare chance to fight the world heavyweight champion in a bout in which he strives to go the distance for his self-respect. Oh, excuse me. That's not that one, te lo juro. I swear to God, that wasn't the effect I wanted. Quería este. Pero bueno, ya que estamos. How mature. I know. So mature. So mature. Yeah. You know I'm mature when my daughter's like, Daddy, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm having fun over here. So a small-time no conocido, pequeño, no, de segunda, a small-time Philadelphia boxer gets a supremely rare chance, una oportunidad que poco se ve, rare, like a diamond, to fight the world heavyweight champion in a bout, y no digo about, como una palabra, about, sobre. I'm saying a bout. A bout es una pelea. So there's another. So I want to talk to you about a bout I saw. Toma, double trouble. Pero no va junto. Quiero hablarte sobre un combate que vi. It's a great one. I want to talk to, si te acuerdas, porque ya sabes about, la palabra about. What is it about? Well, it's about. Rocky is about. Toma, double trouble. The good thing about those double troubles is that you'll never forget them as long as you live. Let's see. In a bout in which he strives, and to strive is to make an effort, esforzarse, to go the distance. And to go the distance is a great expression. Llegar al final, perdurar, ¿no? No caer. If the distance of the race is 10 kilometers, to go the distance, terminarla, no acabarlo, no quedarte a medias. That's the expression. To go the distance es un temazo. Hay un grupo que se llama Cake, como pastel, y tienen una canción súper chula y motivadora que se llama Going the Distance. Escúchatela. It's awesome. And it gives you this idiomatic expression. For his self-respect, su respeto hacia sí mismo, self, auto. So now that we know all the vocabulary, let me give you the words together here. A small-time Philadelphia boxer, y no hablamos del perro en este caso, gets a supremely rare chance to fight the world heavyweight champion in a bout in which he strives to go the distance for his self-respect. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got a winner. It's Chris Valrol. Yeah, before I mentioned Rocky, I said Rocky, but I was talking about Rocky IV. I was talking about the Russian. This is the original Rocky movie, the one that started it all, the movie that's older than me. Well, I was born in 77, and this movie came out in 76. So this movie is literally older than me. And it's a classic Sly Stallone, Astuto Stallone. What? Well, Sly is a nickname for Sylvester. So they call him Sly, pero también el adjetivo Sly, S-L-Y, es astuto. Sly is a fox. Lo decimos igual. Como un zorro, you say the same thing? I hate saying that word in femenino. Sé que puedes estar hablando de una hembra, but the word zorra, just in my head, I hate it. It's an ugly word. Even though sometimes people are, I remember the first time I heard it in like a documentary, like, y la zorra va por sus cachorros. And I'm like, what? That's disgusting. And I'm like, oh no, he's literally talking about female fox. It was confusing for me there for a moment. I was like, what just happened? This is a documentary over here. Why are they saying disgusting words? And then I realized, okay, the word really comes from a female fox. Like if I never just put two and two together, nunca uní los cabos ahí. So 1976, this is the movie that started all of the Rocky movies. And it's a classic now. And this movie was almost not made. Why? Well, producers, two of the producers, Irwin Winkler and Robert Chartoff, they were interested in the script, el guion. And they offered Sly Stallone an unprecedented, at that time, $350,000, 350,000, for the rights, fácil, los derechos. He had at that time in his bank account $106, no car, and he was trying to sell his dog because he couldn't afford to feed him. That's crazy, isn't it? And, but still, he said, I won't sell the script unless I'm Rocky. Like, that's the condition. And even though he could have used the money, le hubiese venido muy bien, like Rocky, he's hard-headed, cabezota, and he goes, no, I'm going to be the actor in here. And they wanted Robert Redford, Burt Reynolds, Nick Nolte, James Caan. And in the end, para enseñarte la expresión, Sly was sly, fue astuto, and he got his way. Se salió con la suya. And can you imagine anybody else playing Rocky? But the studio heads, they couldn't see it. Ellos dijeron, no, es que no te veo como Rocky. You know, he's like, no, it's me. I know it. And the dog in the movie is his real life dog, by the way. So his dog had a cameo, Butkus. Also, some of the most famous scenes in the movie where he's running around the streets of Philadelphia, otra película en Filadelfia, they were shot guerrilla style. What? Como un gorila? Las manos hacia arriba. No, guerrilla. O sea, no ortodoxo, sin permisos. So they went out there and they were just filming with no equipment, no extras. I mean, it was just like, okay, go, run. I'm going to film you. So that's cool. Some of the greatest scenes were filmed illegally. Yeah, because don't try and do that in New York. Don't try and make a big film or something without a permit. You won't last too long, right? It's a big business, obviously. And so they said, no, we'll get around this. You know, we don't have a huge budget here. And we don't even know if this movie's going to work. And did it work? You can bet your bottom dollar. Folks, I can't believe it. Right now, we have to go to a quick commercial break. It's our final commercial break right now. Because when we come back, we've got the fourth and final part of the show. The good thing is we've got a lot of fun stuff to come. We've got Double Trouble. We'll finish taking a look at Rocky over here. We've got to listen to our Say What soundbite, movies. Well, movies we're already doing, music, and so much more. So, if I were you guys, you know what I'm going to say. I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 4 of today's show with no name on Vaughn Radio. I hope y'all are having fun. And I hope you'll stay tuned for all the exciting edutainment. Eso es edutainment, educational entertainment, edutainment here on Vaughn Radio. You've got Ximena Holiday with Test Your English. Then you've got the Lunchtime Show with Rob and Andy. You've got Ruby's Speak Up, followed by Let's Get Random with Jules Linares. Then you've got The Salad with Dave Boys, followed by Kyle Miller's Drive Time. And then you've got Chris Frank and his show, Frankly Speaking. Sit back, relax, and let Chris prepare a cocktail for you. And then you can start your day with the Pro Bow Show with the one and only Rob Grams. You've got Richard Vaughn live. And right before our show, the one and only Fitz and his masterclass, No Excuses. Also, guys, if you want more information, we've got tons of different things over at grupovaughn.com/cursos destacados. Check it out. Special deals going on right now. In fact, if you're looking at a master's in Inglés Profesional, we have a really special deal right now where you can get euros off. O sea, un descuento de 400 euros. I just shared the link with you. It's grupovon.com/cursos destacados. So it's telling you about like all the different special offers we've got. And it's a link. I recommend you guys save it because it's a link that we made just to make sure that you guys know what's going on in the Vaughn world, new stuff, special deals, and all that jazz. Again, it's grupovon.com/cursos destacados. It's time for today's Double Trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
All right, folks, it's our Double Trouble here on the show with no name. Let's see if you guys can figure this one out. Ganó mucha pasta. Me alegro que ha podido sacarle tajada o aprovechar su éxito. O de su éxito, no sé, dudo si hay una de. Aprovechar de su éxito o aprovechar su éxito. Bueno, sacarle tajada a su éxito. Okay, maybe that. So, ganó mucha pasta. Me alegro que ha podido sacarle tajada a su éxito o de su éxito. No, aprovecharlo. That is today's Double Trouble. I think it's going to be a tough one. But somebody's going to get it. I have got a feeling. Ganó mucha pasta. Me alegro que ha podido sacarle tajada o aprovechar de su éxito. That's your Double Trouble. Also, let me give you the tricky Say What soundbite for the fourth time. Jeez Louise.
You're always yapping. What do you mean I don't treat you like a woman? I treat you like a woman. I let you sew, I let you cook, I let you wash the windows, I let you clean up. Boys don't do that, Alice.
Do you know about Vaughn groups? Well, I'm going to tell you all about them. They are group English classes that you can do via video conference or in person. And the good news is you can start whenever you want. And you can keep the same timetable, teacher, and classmates throughout the whole course. And the best part, there's no strings attached. Sin compromiso. And if you act now, you can get a 5% discount for paying up front. And if you stick with the course for 6 months, you'll get a 50% discount in June. Wow, what a deal! As if you needed more reasons to learn English with Vaughn. Check out our Vaughn groups. Have fun and make friends as you learn English. Sign up now while there are still spots available. Call us 911-385831. Or you can go to our website, grupovon.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media and find out if Vaughn groups are for you. That's right, folks. More information, as I said, at grupovon.com/cursos destacados. Let's take a look at today's Double Trouble over here. Daniela has taken a stab at it. Let's see how she did. The translation was, ganó mucha pasta. Me alegro que ha podido sacarle tajada o aprovechar su éxito, de su éxito. Bueno, ahí me quedo con la duda. Daniela says, I'm glad error mío, I'm glad he made a lot of dough and he made the most of his success. Not the one I had, but it's right. Daniela, excellent job. Excellent job. Wow. To make a lot of money, to make a lot of dough. Sí, se puede decir earn, pero no se usa tanto como make. He made a lot of money with that business. 1000 veces más usamos make
De hecho, hay una canción, Make Money, 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 Make Money. Lo oyes en una canción. En muchas canciones de hip hop, they make everybody say, make money, money, make money, money. No, gana esa pasta, sácale tajada, right? Excellent. So to make a lot of dough and to make the most of something. Excellent. Daniela was excellent. All right, Chris says he made a lot of. Ooh, Chris, you got the one I think here that I got. He made a lot of cash. I'm glad he cashed in on. Solo te falta his success. No, y lo tienes. Oh. So yes, to cash in on something, pero eso, claro, nos falta la última parte, pero it's great. You got it. The interesting thing about this phrasal verb is it has two prepositions, to cash in on. So he really cashed in on his success. Y si lo dices todo junto, cashed in on. La T se une otra vez con el otro. So, Chris, I mean, you got it. You just had to, I mean, it was right. You just had to put his success at the end. So wonderful job, Daniela and Chris. He made a lot of cash. Who? Johnny Cash? Was burn, burn, burn in a ring of fire. In a ring. Did Johnny Cash? I think Johnny Cash. That's a good way to remember it. Johnny Cash made a lot of cash. He really cashed in on his success. Again, wonderful job, folks. All right, let's take a look at Rocky, the original Rocky movie. And this is a scene between Rocky and Adrian. And you can never say the word Adrian without saying, hey, yo, Adrian. Yo, oye. Hey, yo, wait. Porque es la frase. Hey, yo, Adrian, I love you. I don't know what Rocky sounds like in Spanish, the dubbing. No, but in English, he's not supposed to be the brightest guy. No, he's not supposed to be the sharpest tool in the shed. And Sylvester Stallone plays him as just like an, knucklehead, un tontorrón. And it works because he's the underdog. It's the whole American story is el menos favorito, the underdog, right? And so Rocky says to Adrian, he's doubting or second guessing himself. And he goes, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'll try and do my impression of Sly. I can't do it, Adrian. And she goes, what? He says, I can't beat him. We looked at the word beat before. Vencer, ganar, pegar, beaten. We looked at it in our homophones. I can't beat him. Nos comemos la H y lo unimos, beat him. La expresión me recuerda a la expresión, if you can't beat him, join him. ¿Qué quiere decir eso fácil? Lo tenéis igual, ¿no? Si no puedes, únete. If you can't beat him, join him. Y fíjate, no digo them, I say Bueno, just pay attention. That's how we say it. Right? If you can't beat him, join him. So he goes, I can't beat him. No puedo vencerle. And Adrian goes, Apollo? ¿Estás hablando de Apollo? And Rocky goes, yeah. I've been out there walking around thinking, who am I kidding? ¿A quién estoy engañando yo? I ain't even in the guy's league. No estoy ni en su liga. We say the same thing. Él está jugando en otra liga. And Adrian says, well, what are we going to do? ¿Qué vamos a hacer? And Rocky says, I don't know. And Adrian says, but you worked so hard, Rocky. Empeñaste tanto, trabajaste tanto. And Rocky goes, yeah, but that don't matter. That doesn't matter. Acuérdate, don't learn English from Rocky, okay? Not from the character, at least. Yeah, that don't matter, because I was nobody before. Porque antes yo no era nadie. O sea, sigo siendo un nadie. And Adrian says, don't say that. No digas eso. And then Rocky goes, oh, come on, Adrian, it's true. Es verdad. I was nobody. But that don't matter. That doesn't matter. Thank you, Rocky. But that doesn't matter either, because I was thinking, it really don't matter. It really doesn't matter. No importa. If I lose this fight, ¿qué más da? Si pierdo this fight, this bout, que lo vimos antes. And then he says, excuse me. And then he says, but that don't matter either, He goes, it really don't matter, not, otra vez, it really doesn't matter. Okay, voy a corregirle. It really doesn't matter if this guy opens my head either, si me abre la cabeza. Because all I want to do is go the distance. La expresión, la canción de Cake. He's going the distance. Because all I want to do is see if I can go the distance. Nobody's ever gone the distance with Creed. So con Apollo Creed, nadie ha durado, nadie ha terminado contra Apollo Creed. And he goes, and if I can go that distance, you see, si yo puedo hacerlo. And that bell rings, y suena esa campana, our spelling bee bell, and that bell rings, and I'm still standing, como la canción de Elton John, sigo de pie. I'm going to know for the first time in my life, voy a saber por primera vez en mi vida, see, that I wasn't just another bum from the neighborhood, que yo no era solo otro vago, otro tirado del barrio. So that's Rocky's super objective in life. It's not to win boxing matches. It's to feel important, right? To feel like he's not a loser. That's so much power. That is so much more powerful than he wants to win the match. Yeah, but why? To prove to himself his self-worth. That's the interesting part. So awesome movies. This is the one that started it all, Rocky. All right, folks, it's time to move on to another section where we learn English with pop culture, and it's famous birthday trivia. That's right, amigos. It's time for famous birthday trivia here on the show with no name. All right, the first person was a boxer. Oh, no, he's still alive. Interesting. And there's actually a documentary about his life right now called Chuck. So I guess that's his name. Pero espera, hay muchos Chucks ahí. Well, this guy's boxing career and fight against Muhammad Ali inspired the 1976 film Rocky, the one we looked at in our Name That Movie today. So, unfortunately, it doesn't have a happy ending. He says that Sylvester Stallone stole his story and didn't really take care of him. And Sylvester Stallone says, it's like anything. I can tell the story of anything. I'm making it my own, So, Sylvester Stallone got the idea, obviously, and he admitted it from this match with this guy against the greatest ever, Muhammad Ali. And this was in 1975. And this guy almost went the distance. Casi terminó. He was just 19 seconds short of winning against Muhammad Ali. And he was a nobody. And Muhammad Ali is Muhammad Ali. Right? The greatest boxer that ever lived, right? Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. So, interesting. It inspired this. And as I said, this is yes, the story was in the newspaper. So, I can tell a story about it. And the other guy's like, but it's my story. And he's like, well, then tell your story. So, again, a judge. It's not that simple. Un juicio, un juez. Tiene que decidir todo eso. The next guy, I mentioned his name as well. We used his name in our double trouble, sacarle tajada a algo efectivo, effectivi wonder. And this guy, man, they call him the Man in Black. And I'm not talking about Will Smith or Tommy Lee Jones here. Some of his songs, Folsom Prison Blues. In fact, he went to Folsom Prison and played concerts there. He's been to many prisons to play concerts. Ring of Fire, Walk the Line, which is a movie about him with Joaquin Phoenix. Excellent movie, by the way, Walk the Line, which is one of his songs. It came out in 2005. If you haven't seen it, it's excellent. It's called Walk the Line. And this guy he mixed a lot of stuff. So he mixed country, rock and roll, rockabilly, blues, folk, and his real love was gospel. I mean, this guy wanted to be a minister before he became a singer. So he was one of these, very passionate religious people, right? Even though when you think of him, you're like, wow, the guy's dark, but really he came from the light. So I guess that's what makes him such an interesting character, not just the fact that he's a wonderful musician, but his life story is interesting. Just creating that character, the man in black, and the way he would introduce himself. He would say, "Hi, and everybody there's like, we know who you are." But it's a funny line, And last but not least, this person was born in 1916, an American actor and singer. Comedian as well. They called him the Great One. I didn't know this, but I know I've heard his name a million times. The Great One. And he grew up in Brooklyn, and he created a lot of his characters based on some of the guys he was meeting when he was growing up in Brooklyn. These, brash characters. Brash. Vamos a ver cómo lo traducen aquí. Brash characters, atrevido, intrépido, audaz, no? Yeah. So he used to play like these characters that weren't exactly, the boy next door, let's say. And he got really famous in a television series called The Honeymooners. I don't know what it was called in Spanish. He also had his own show called The Show, que no te lo puedo decir porque si no te lo digo. And what can I say? Oh, the character he played, Ralph Cramden in The Honeymooners, was like this guy who was always telling his wife, like, if you got to get in the kitchen and cook, like, it was very different times, by the way. And he's like, to the moon. His catch line was, to the moon, Alice, a la luna. Yeah, like, so now that show is totally inappropriate. But again, I think this guy was looking at some of these characters he had met and said, well, I know people who are like that, sadly. All right, our winner, Chris Valrol. Number 1, Chuck Wepner. The boxer is Chuck Wepner. Number 2, Johnny Cash. And number 3, Jackie Gleason. And that's going to bring us to today's Say What soundbite. This is Jackie Gleason playing Ralph Cramden in the show The Honeymooners. And again, he plays like a sexist husband, but also if you watch the show, she always gets her way. So it's funny because he thinks he's like, you watch your step with me, go clean the kitchen or whatever. But in the end, she always outsmarts him. So, por una parte, dice, sí, te crees el jefe, but she's, Los recién casados, The Honeymooners. Bueno, entonces sí que la traducción funcionaba. It's a classic show now. And you even see the line, to the moon, Alice, pow, right in the kisser, pow, right. These are lines that came from that show, which are now immortalized in Family Guy, Padre de Familia. So if you ever say, what, but ¿qué dice esa? No, fast en toda la boca. That comes from that show, The Honeymooners. And this is him yelling at his wife, doing what his character always did. He says to Alice, his wife, his lovely wife, I always felt bad. He goes, Sal, déjale a este capullo. He's an idiot. I think that was the whole drama. That was what made the series interesting. And he goes, you're always yapping. Siempre estás hablando. Yap, 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 yap. You're always yapping. He goes, what do you mean I don't treat you like a woman? ¿Qué quieres decir que no te trato como una mujer? I treat you like a woman. Te trato como una mujer. I let you sew. Te dejo coser. I let you cook. Te dejo cocinar. And I let you wash the windows. And I let you clean up. Te dejo lavar las ventanas. Y limpiar, ordenar, clean up. He goes, boys don't do that, Alice. Los chicos no hacen esas cosas. So again, this is not my opinion. This is from The Honeymooners. Let's hear this classic comedian, Jackie Gleason, as Ralph Cramden in The Honeymooners.
You're always yapping. What do you mean I don't treat you like a woman? I treat you like a woman. I let you sew, I let you cook, I let you wash the windows, I let you clean up. Boys don't do that, Alice.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is. No? Sorry, bye.
Name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. Name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. It's name that lyric only on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's Name That Lyric, and wonderful job to each and every one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks for your participation. And again, thanks for bearing with me today because, as I said, I'm a little, I feel okay. I'm just congested. I'm just stuffed up. But as I said, option 2 was not seeing you guys. So it was a pleasure to be here with you, regardless of my health today. All right. The song today is Man in Black, and it's Johnny Cash, Man in Black. Awesome song, one of his signature songs. And he says, well, you wonder why I always dress in black. Pues te preguntas por qué siempre me visto de negro. Why you never see bright colors on my back. Porque nunca me ves con una camiseta o la espalda de colores. And why does my appearance seem to have a somber tone? Un tono, I think you say sombrío. Yes, sombrío. Sombrío. Hay un acento ahí. So a somber, parecida a la palabra en inglés, a somber tone. Well, there's a reason for the things that I have on. Hay una razón por lo que yo tengo puesto. To have something on es tenerlo puesto. I have a hat on, okay? He goes, I wear the black for the poor. Llevo este color negro para los pobres. And the beaten down. Vimos la palabra beaten hoy varias veces, en Rocky. Beaten, vencido, para los que están golpeados, castigados, vencidos. So I wear the black for the poor and the beaten down, living in the hopeless, hungry side of town, que viven en la parte del pueblo que no hay esperanza, que están muriéndose de hambre. He says, I wear it for the prisoner who is long paid for his crime. Lo pongo para el prisionero que ya ha pagado su crimen. But is there because he's a victim of the times. So here you go, folks. This is a classic song. If you haven't seen the movie Walk the Line, it's really great. It's Reese Witherspoon and Joaquin Phoenix, and it's an interesting story. And then if you get great actors telling the story, well, that's awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you once again, my amigos. And we'll be back tomorrow with more. I promise you that. Bye-bye for now.
I always dress in black.